folks. Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
It is indeed, and we had about a 27 inches of sunshine today.
Yes, we did. It was nice. It was probably, I think it was 80 something today at my house.
Yeah, it was it was close to 80 here.
Yeah, I had to turn the AC on because I looked at the thermometer. It was 81 in the house. I said, "Uh-oh, I better turn the AC on."
And Jocelyn was comfortable, wasn't she?
She was, and she doesn't tell me. I love the heat. I just start sweating and thinking, "Oh, do I have COVID or something?" And
Key West Plus.
And boom,
we're going to have to get her
and there it is. All righty, well, I guess we better get started, Jeff, because we've got another exciting show. This is like a weekly deal to have a really exciting show. So,
well, we work hard in finding good guests that we feel will appeal to our membership and the general public in general.
Absolutely.
So far, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yes, we are. And of course, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Treasure Talk guests and members belong solely to the guests and members and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And hopefully the two guests we have on here today will help our members be educated very well.
I think they will. I think they definitely will. You know, the things are starting to flow now with the two new detectors. I know you're waiting on another order from Deus for the Deus 2, and you're I think from what I understand, the Nocta Macro Legends are being shipped as we speak.
Yes.
So it'll probably be maybe a week or so before you get those, depending on, obviously, on shipping, you know. But I think everybody's anxiously waiting for them. I know I was anxiously waiting for my Deus 2. Now I've had so much stuff to do, I have not been able to take it out yet. But it is updated, it is charged, and it is ready to go.
Ready to go. That's awesome. Yeah, the Deus is airship and stuff now. And I know we posted Dalik's picture, and she was standing by a big stack of legends. So I know there's a lot of interest in both of those detectors, and I know they're going to be worth the wait. So, folks, they'll be here soon. If you wanted to pre-purchase either one, I think I have them both on my website. Or you can give me a ring and get on my list, and I'll call you when I have some. Either way, we can do that.
Yep. So I know, I think I've got mine. I think the Mumbles man picked his up.
Yes, he did.
And you know what he did? He's such a Weisenheimer, you know, because we saw him before we went live Saturday, and I just texted him, you know, wanting to know if he'd gotten up with you to get his Deus 2. So then when he gets out in the car, he texts me. He says, yes. He's such a Weisenheimer.
He is, and he doesn't smile a lot, but I caught a little glimpse of that smile when he had the Deus 2 in his hand.
No, it's an evil thing sometimes. Let me tell you, it is an evil thing. Well, we probably better get our guests on here.
Yes, we're wasting too much time here, Jeff.
Yes, indeed. So we've got a good show for you tonight. We've got two of the most premier female detectorists in the world. One is primarily a water hunter, and one is primarily a relic hunter. So we figured, you know, we're going to cover all the bases with these two. You undoubtedly know them. If you haven't, you're in for a very, very special treat tonight. So we'll bring on from Okinawa, Japan, Christy Cricket Conroy, and from the beautiful Garden State, Jrzyrae, Rachel Elmore. Let's bring them on. There's Cricket.
Hey guys.
Good. Rachel. There's Rachel.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we've
you.
got lots of questions loaded already. But before we get started, first, and we'll start with you, Rachel, and then we'll get you, Cricket. But tell us where you're at and the temperature today.
I'm by the Raritan Bay in New Jersey, which is I can see New York City from my beach. And right now I think it's like about 42 degrees.
42 degrees. So are you beach hunting or you mostly do dirt digging?
I mostly do dirt digging. I'll go to the beach once in a while, but I'm
She's
not
afraid
I'm
of
not
the
a big fan.
fishes.
Okay. And you, Cricket, tell everybody where you're at and the temperature was today.
Okay, well, actually, I'm just waking up. It's Okinawa, Japan. And so it is Tuesday, February 22nd for me, and it's 9 a.m. So a little bit of a time difference. And it is probably going to get up to 65 today. This is just looking out my living room window right now. It is one of the first days in the past 2 weeks that it hasn't been super rainy and nasty. So, yeah.
Okay, so what is your water temperature there?
The water temperature is about 75. So it's not, I mean, it's cold when you first get in, but it's not that cold.
Yeah, 75 is doable. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of the folks up north will say, oh, yeah, that's real doable.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
Celsius, Cricket?
What's that?
Is that 65 Celsius?
Yeah. No. I don't even know Celsius. So there you go.
Okay, good. I'm just checking.
All
Just
right.
checking. And we don't have to worry about Rachel getting in the water because she don't like the fishies.
Yeah. Well,
Not the
Well,
big ones with teeth.
that's
You don't
right.
like any of them.
Yeah, we see a few of those when we're out there in the water. And
A few.
when the big manatee comes up to you or the dolphin jumps in front of you, it does get your heart pumping there for
Yeah,
a
nice.
second.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see. I tell you what, I'd love to see Rachel out about probably chest deep in the Gulf and have a manatee come up and sniff her and surprise her. She would be walking on water. She would be on the beach.
I've done that before.
Yeah,
I've run on water in the Delaware River. I was
Ah.
tubing and a stick touched my butt, but I could have sworn it was something else. I got up out of that tube and ran across the river.
yeah, I
That was
could
the last
see-
time I went tubing.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that happening if something touches you. Yeah, I jump a little bit if a fish or something bumps me. It'll scare me. I've gone out of the water before where I've seen a big shark. I left the water, so they're out there. Just most of the time you don't see them.
Kevin's whole family is from Hawaii. And so we used to spearfish at night in Hawaii. And one night we were out and I felt a big swoosh, like I could feel the swoosh of water against my legs. And I got out so fast. Oh my God. Because Kevin was a helicopter pilot in the Marine Corps for 26 years. And we were stationed there for 7 years. And he would fly over Kaneohe Bay, which is like Shark Central. And he would see huge, like gigantical tiger sharks on one side of a reef, and then, two snorkelers on the other side of the reef. And the people never knew that gigantic shark was right there. They don't want to eat us, but
Yeah, I think it's mostly by accident they do.
Yeah.
No, tiger sharks want to eat you.
No, bull sharks are the most dangerous.
Yeah, we
Bull
have
sharks are dangerous because they can go upstream. The bigger they are, the farther up they can go. They can live in fresh water when they reach full maturity. But tiger sharks, they like the brackish water and they will eat. They want to. The great whites are the ones that just checking you out, but unfortunately, sometimes that bite's a little big.
Yes.
Great
Oh my
white
God.
one tenderizes you a little bit.
Yeah, they just want to see if you're edible.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully they don't like me.
Well, we better get into some questions, Philip.
Yes, we better get into some questions real quick. So, let me ask you both, what got you ladies into metal detecting? First off, and you go first, Rachel.
I grew up along the shoreline of New Jersey, and I used to see the men, walking around. Occasionally a lady, but mostly the men back when I was a kid on the beach with the metal detectors. And I wanted one. because I had learned about, the pirates and stuff like that, Blackbeard. The other one, I can't remember his name right now. But so I wanted to find the pirate treasure, and we used to dig, huge trenches in the beach, just random places. And then I was always a treasure seeker. I like to go thrifting, and I grew up in a flea market. But I didn't get my first detector till about 12 years ago.
And what detector was that?
Bounty hunter.
Okay.
Tracker 4.
And what are you swinging today?
Mostly the AT Pro, but I do use the Knox 800.
Okay. Both excellent detectors.
Yeah.
Both of them. Still manufactured today, so that's good. Okay, Cricket, and how about you? What got you started in it?
I think that other pirate, Rachel, that you were thinking of was Captain Jack Sparrow.
I almost said that. Captain Kidd is the one I was thinking of.
Well, so when I was a little girl, my dad had a metal detector, and I always thought that was really fascinating. And then I, was too little to swing it. It was just all way too big for me. And then when we first moved back to Japan, this is our third time living in Okinawa. I was out on the reef. We live right at the beach. If any of you have seen my videos, I live right at the beach and look at the East China Sea. And so my little beach has, when it's low tide, all the reef is exposed, and it's dead reef, right where we are, because so many people are out walking on it all the time. But I found a white gold men's wedding band, and I said to Kevin, man, I would love to have a metal detector. Like I just hadn't thought of it until then, because we've always lived at the beach. We just are beach kids. We're both, from Southern California beach kids. And so that's what I asked for Christmas. And he said, well, you research the one you want. And I did the research, and I got the Equinox 800. And it was, nice plug and play, easy to learn. And I started finding amazing things just right out of the chute. So I used that machine for the last 3 years. And then I just got signed on with Fisher. And so I've been using the CZ21 in the water, because, the Equinox will only do 10 feet and seems to have an issue with flooding. I haven't had my machine flood yet, but all of my friends have. I don't understand that. So now I'm going to be taking that CZ21 out, beyond our reef, which does make me a little bit nervous, because the port that I live next door to, Toya Fishing Port, is a fishing port. And so they come back and, they're cutting up fish and dumping stuff over the edge. And they have caught a huge great white shark right out in front of my house. It's probably a mile out, but she got caught in a fishing net. And so she had pups. She had 2 or 3 pups, and she was dead. And the pups, when they pulled her up on the boat, the pups came out. So they raced them. We have the largest aquarium, I think the second largest aquarium in the whole world, right here in Okinawa. And so they raced the pups up to the aquarium, but they didn't make it. This was the first time we lived here. So between 2005, 2008. And so. So
now you're using both the Equinox and the CZ21.
Yes. And for land hunting, I've been using the Fisher F19. I call that zippy. That machine is so light, and the VDI is so accurate. I know if it's under 50, I don't want to dig it, because every time I do, I get trash. And above 50, I'm getting some pretty fun stuff. So, and I'm, it's interesting to learn new technology and to learn new machines, or not new technology, but technology that is new to me. That's pretty fun and pretty interesting. And it really has sparked an interest in me to get other detectors as well, just because, I used the same machine for 3 years, and now all of a sudden I'm using other machines, and I'm finding it very interesting and fun. There you go. Yes, I'm getting mine from Phil. I just have to wait till I'm in the States to get it.
There you go. All right. Well, you said your husband's in the military, right?
Well, actually, he retired in 2011, and now he works for the United States government. So, yes.
Yeah. So he works for the government. Does he have an APO box or no?
FPO.
FPO?
Yeah.
I might be able to send that to you. I'm not sure. I'll have
Armed
to check.
Forces Pacific. Yeah, it's as long as it doesn't. I don't know what kind of does it have? Do you add batteries or is it a rechargeable machine?
That
Rechargeable.
recharge.
Rechargeable.
They get the military discount.
Not on the dais, but we give them a discount. I got some questions already, and this one
Yeah.
is for you, Cricket. Well, I've
Okay.
got it's from Roy Goodall, and
Hi,
he's
Roy.
do you find a lot of war relics in your land hunting?
Oh my goodness. I find bullets like crazy right in the water right out in front of my house, and then I find tons of bullets, and for some reason I find a ton of mess kit spoons. As a matter of fact, last night I was doing some land hunting, and over on Torrey Station, the Army garrison that's here in Okinawa, and I went in a field that I have hit so many times, and I found another metal mess kit spoon, and this one is a little bit smaller, so I think it might be Japanese instead of American, but I left it. I just was making a video of it, and I had left the spoon on top of the trash can where I threw away all my trash targets, because I have so many that I don't want them, like I can only have so many, right? So hopefully somebody will find it and want it.
Yeah, that's cool. How about you, Rachel? Have you dug any military artifacts in New Jersey?
Occasionally, like general service buttons.
Okay. Any old ones, or are they more modern?
Anywhere between like Civil War era up to about World War One.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Wow.
So they don't have the Great Seal on them. They have something else on it.
Yeah, it depends on, like, you could buy the eagle on the button. You could tell.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jocelyn, you had another question. I didn't see
No, that was
what you were handing me there. So, all right, well, let me keep going down my list here.
Oh,
I think Roy Goodall had another one for Rachel too.
Roy Goodall.
Oh.
Just fine.
I'm glad you're on the ball there, Jeff. Rachel, what's your oldest find dirt digging? And that comes from Roy Goodall.
Probably my I would have to guess probably my shoe buckle, the complete shoe buckle I found.
Okay. All right, cool. And your oldest coin?
Mid 1700s of one of the reals,
Wow.
the half reals.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so silver half real then.
Yeah.
And the half
Was there a
real, that's
happy dance involved?
No, I don't dance.
Well, you should have when you found that.
I found a few.
I think if I find a gold coin, I am going to learn to dance. I'll do the happy dance.
Oh yeah, if I dig up an escudo, which is like my ultimate bucket lister, yeah, I'll dance for that.
Yeah. We'll learn to
On
dance.
camera, on
Yeah,
video.
Yeah, on camera.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's the oldest U.S. coin you've dug?
Offhand, I'd say probably the 1835 cap bust half dime, but I may have older. But
Okay, cool. I've dug 3 of the bust half times too here in Tampa. How about you, Cricket? Your oldest.
Well, now keep in mind, I've only been metal detecting. I mean, I've been detecting in the States up and down the East Coast anytime I go visit my kids. But here, the coins just aren't that old. The oldest Japanese coin I have found is 1929. And by the way, if anybody ever finds a Japanese coin and they want to know the date of it, I can tell you the date. Just send me a picture front and back and I can tell you the date. I can tell you how old it is. And then the oldest American coin is a 1964 Kennedy half. So that was so exciting. I found it where I was last night on Torrey Station. That was really exciting for me to find a silver coin and how pretty it comes out of the dirt. I mean, it was dirty, but it was still pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So nothing exciting. Like I see all these fun coins that people find, and I haven't found anything cool like that, but just because we don't, I live in a foreign country, so.
Well, Philip,
Yeah.
we're getting a request for you to dance. The Disney Canuck says $10 to see you dance. Big Poppy said if you find a gold coin, you'll do the moonwalk. So
If Big Poppy finds the gold coin,
let's see. Somebody else just said. Okay, somebody else said they'd add another $10. Oh, Mark, he said he'd add the $10 for that. Hey, Phil, we could make some money here, dude.
Yeah, I'll just start dancing. There you go. All right, so this is a question that a lot of people ask this. It says, ask the ladies, do they metal detect alone or with someone? Do you feel safe when doing it? What precautions do they take, if so? So I'll start with you, Rachel.
I do detect alone. I prefer detecting with other people. Not solely for, because I do the woods a lot, but not solely for safety in numbers, but also it's a lot more exciting if you find something or somebody else does, and excitement's contagious. So, I mean, it's kind of like you find something really awesome and you're by yourself. It's kind of a Debbie Downer a little bit. And I don't mind. I prefer, like I said, company. When I'm alone in the woods, especially, but even when I'm with other people, I always have one of my headphones off my ear, because even with your other people, you still got the chances of trees falling, branches.
Yeah.
Not so much on bears where I detect, but I like to keep one ear open so I can hear what's going on around me.
Phil, I think the conversation in the chat is just kind of went downhill. Mike Mayo wants to know if there was a poll involved with your walk with the gold coin. I don't know.
Mike's a good guy too. I think
Yeah.
they were all up at Florida Hunt 8. And how about you, Cricket? Do you hunt by yourself? You feel safe?
A lot of the times I am hunting by myself. Kevin, when he'll always be with me. He'll go, like, we'll set up on the beach. He'll go and exercise, and then comes back and he'll sit and listen to a book. And so he's always there, night or day. It's pretty safe here. Like safety really isn't an issue. I have been alone, before. Like yesterday, I was out on a beach and Kevin's not here, and it was a new beach to me, and it was a very small beach. But I was a little bit nervous because there was a lot of jungly area, and like I could see footprints that went into the jungle but didn't come back out. So I didn't know if somebody was in there somewhere. Homelessness isn't necessarily a big issue here, so I kind of had in the back of my mind maybe somebody's just living back there, but in reality, that probably isn't the case. And I do hunt a lot with only one headphone on, just to hear. And my biggest concern safety wise are snakes, the habu snake, which is, kind of like a rattlesnake. It's highly poisonous. And, if I'm doing anything off the beach, I'm a little bit nervous. And then in the water, they have water snakes that are highly poisonous, but their mouths are so little that as long as you have a wetsuit on, they probably, they're very curious. They'll come right up to your mask because it's shiny and they want to see, but they're not, they can be dangerous, but they're not. And, so I'm not afraid necessarily on a beach. I definitely would not go into the jungle by myself, because even though it's a pretty safe place, I would be nervous about being by myself out in the jungle. So yeah.
Well, Tom Becker wants to know, he's from Ohio. He wants to know if either one of you gals carry a defense spray, such as pepper spray, something like that, when you're out hunting.
I don't, because I think something like that might be illegal. Like, even if you have a dive knife in your car and you aren't going, like if you just left it in your car and you get pulled over and they see it, you can get a ticket. They're very serious about weapons here. So I don't have any spray.
What about you, Rach?
I have my shovel.
The shovel is a weapon. That's a good weapon.
Especially if it's an Excalibur.
It's a White's groundhog.
Oh no, that's a good shovel. I sold quite a few of those. And you hit somebody with that, if you get any swing into it, watch out. That's like it's very similar to the Excalibur shovel. They're extremely built nice. So that
Yeah,
would
I've
be.
got no complaints about that shovel.
And what kind of scoop do you use on the beach, Greg?
One
I
that's
have.
not.
Oh,
No,
go ahead.
you said cricket. Okay, go ahead.
I have the CKG with the carbon fiber handle. So
Okay,
yeah, I
that,
love
that,
it.
that could be a good weapon too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's a nice chunk of stainless steel there with a
Yeah.
nice light handle.
Yes.
Yeah, mid swing that'll turn into Thor's hammer.
I tell you what, you do a spinning back scoop, and you whack them in the head with that scoop. They're gone.
Yeah, then you can get away. All right, so this one is for cricket. What is the detecting? This is from Rick Tumbleson,
Hi,
and
Rick.
he's asking, what is the detecting competition like in Okinawa? Are there a lot of other hunters doing that as well?
We actually have a Facebook group called Metal Detecting Okinawa, and there's a little over 100 people in the group. And like before, when there was tourism, when we actually had tourism, I would go out at the same beach all the time and find amazing stuff. Now, of course, tourism has been closed down for 2 years, and we still don't have it. The only tourists that we get are mainland Japan. We don't have any outside tourists. And so now it's, good targets are pretty hard to come by. And so I would say that in our Facebook group, people post what they're finding, and people are still finding stuff. It's just not nearly like it used to be. And so I would say that not only is it fairly stiff competition with other detectorists, but we just don't have the targets anymore. It's just local people, and times are rough right now. So people, I think, are very careful with their money and jewelry and things like that. But yeah, so
Well, Diggin Canuck wants to know: are they Americans in that Facebook group that are doing the hunting, or Japanese?
yeah, I don't know of any Japanese. It's all mostly military, active duty military kids that are in our group. And so there are Japanese people, like on the beach yesterday where I was hunting. An older Japanese man came up to me and he said, "Oh, I lost some money right here. Could you find it?" And I swung over it, and it was a $5 coin, and it was brand new, shiny. And I handed it back to him, and he said, "Oh, no, you keep it, you keep it." And he just was testing to see if I could find it, which of course, if you say it's right in this area, I'm going to find it. But he did tell me that there's a lot of people that metal detect on that beach during the summertime when more people are there visiting. So I assume that those are Japanese people that are hunting. And I have had a couple of Japanese men, older men usually, that'll come up to me and they say, "Oh, I used to metal detect," but they don't anymore. So I don't know why, but yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot more people metal detecting than what I know about, because I think mostly people go at night and I go in the daytime. And I think that mostly people go at night, not because they're trying to be sketchy. It's just so incredibly hot here, for 9 months out of the year, that the only time they can really go and not get heat stroke is in the nighttime. So.
Yeah, I have a customer who's bought detectors from me, and he moved back here, I think around 5 years ago. But he used to detect it there, and he found all kinds of cool stuff, and I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Oh.
Guess I'm getting too old, but he showed me pictures of stuff that he had found, and he was on one of the metal detecting forums is where I met him at.
Yeah.
And,
One of the guy that does run the Facebook group of ours, he says, he's lived here 2 or 3 times now too, like we have. He said back in the day when he first started metal detecting in Okinawa, it would be nothing to go out in a night and find $100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And now it's amazing if I find, $20.
mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So I think we got another question from Roy Goodall, don't we, Phil?
Did we? Do you have it there, Jeff? Go ahead.
Rachel wants to know if Rachel's in a club, and if she does hunt beaches, what beaches?
Yeah, I belong to one club, Deep Search, and I hunt along the Jersey beaches, the Atlantic coast and the Bay. When I do go to a beach, and generally when I do, it's usually in the summer at night.
All righty. And let me ask you both this, and I'll start with you, Rachel. What size coil do you run on your detector most of the time?
On both of them, I run the stock.
The stock coil? You don't put
Actually, all three. I have the simplex too.
Okay. So you
I
run the
I
stock.
played with the 5x8 on the AT Pro Sunday, and it felt kind of weird. Like, I'm sure it was just me, but it just felt weird to have that really small coil because I've been looking at the stock coil for so long.
Yeah. I use a small coil all the time when I'm relic hunting because I'll do lots where they tore a house down and there's just junk everywhere, nails and roofing tacks and everything, just mixed everything. So I'll use a smaller coil and I seem to do a lot better. Doesn't go as deep, but uh, don't give up on that 5x8. That's an awesome coil in the AT Pro. I prefer that over the stock coil.
I found some stuff mixed in with iron with the stock coil. I mean, when you're going low and slow.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think with a smaller coil, you could actually do a little better if it's real trashy.
Yeah.
How about you, Cricket? What
So
coil?
on my CZ21, I have the 10-inch coil, and I love that. On the Fisher F19, I use the stock coil, and I believe it is a 4x6 elliptical closed coil. But they did just come out. First Texas Products did just come out with a new coil that's a 12-inch double D that you can put on several of the machines, and the F19 is one of them, and it just totally changes your depth. It goes, one of my friends, Ram Detecting, which you guys had on a couple weeks ago, he tried it out, I think, on a bounty hunter. I can't remember which version it was, and it took it like 12 to 14 inches deep. So like it turned his machine from an 8-inch search to I think it was 14 to a 14-inch search. It was just under double. So I think it was 14 or 15 inches actually. So yeah, so that's pretty incredible. I haven't tried it yet. It would be fun. It would be fun to get it on my F19 just to see what's even deeper than where I'm going right now. So
Yeah, I stock that one for the Fisher products. I think I have 2 of those in stock.
nice. Okay.
And so if somebody wants one of those for their Fisher detector, I do have them in stock.
Yeah,
And
it goes on more.
everything is
Yes,
stock.
yeah, it goes on the Bounty Hunter, and I think you can do it on the Technetics as well. So not just Fisher.
Yeah, and it's light too. They made that coil extremely light. I
Yeah.
think it might even be a couple ounces lighter than their stock coil on the
Nice.
F75 too. It works
Nice.
on it.
Yeah.
All righty. So, do you use other coils on your Equinox, or you just stick with the 11-inch coil?
Yeah, I do have the 6-inch coil. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so I do have it. And we do have some pretty trashy areas, but I have been so busy, with my CZ21 and my F19 that I haven't had a chance to take that out. So yeah.
Now, how are you swinging your CZ21? Are you belt mounting it, or are you chest mounting, or are you leaving it?
No, I don't find it to be heavy. I really don't. I was out yesterday for about 5 hours with it, and I had it mounted right on the shaft. It wasn't a problem. I guess I should try it on. I do have it comes with a belt mount. I should try it on the belt mount, but I don't find it to be heavy, and I like to be able to get to the pinpoint function and be able to adjust because what I'll do is I'll start out on that machine. I'll start out with it, like in zero discrimination or auto tune. And then if I come across something that I'm not quite sure if I want to dig it, I'll either move it to 0 or 1 and see what it sounds like. And then if it's super grunty, I'll just move on. So I like it mounted on the shaft. It's just easier for me, and I just don't find it to be heavy. So I don't think I used my friend's X-Cal one day too, and I didn't think that was heavy. So
Well, you must have some good wrist strength because
I
I
guess.
can't stand either of those detectors on the back shafts. And I have both the belt mount and the chest mount for that CZ21, and
Yeah.
I too run in auto tune
Yeah.
because you can run your sensitivity up high, almost max it out in my
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
and it'll go really deep that way. And then just put it to 0 or 1 and listen to the tone. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best setup. If you
Yeah.
that clip that it comes with, you put that in a dive belt, you can wear that on your side and just turn that button back and forth.
Well,
And
I know, but oh, you mean a dive belt, not diving with it, right? You just mean
right,
you could, yeah, okay. Yes. I do. I have the clip, I have a dive belt, I have everything. I did put it on just to see when I first pulled it out of the box, but it's honestly, it's just right there. I just don't, I don't know. Maybe I'm just really strong. And maybe it's your height, Phil. You know, you're much taller than I am. I'm like
He's
five,
taller than
six. So
everybody.
yeah. Well, the I just you put that on your belt. That thing is so light and easy to swing. So
yeah.
um, I just think that's a better setup. But you got
Yeah.
to hunt with what you're comfortable with.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll give it a try and get back to you.
Okay. All right. Well, let me keep going down my list here. And this one is from Tom Becker. And I'll ask you first this, Rachel. Do you, well, he's asking both of you, do you both have a favorite spot you keep going back to because it always gives up treasure?
Yeah, I do. I just went there Sunday and didn't get. I took two of my buddies with me. Didn't give me anything, but it gave the other one a dandy and probably a stopwatch or a pocket watch.
Nice.
Okay.
It's getting harder to find the stuff, but I'm sure there's still stuff there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, do you hunt mostly in the woods or are you hunting at home sites or where do you hunt?
Yeah, like a mix, mostly the woods, but I do have like 5 properties that are right next door to each other that are about 6 to 8 acres each that butt up against some woods. So
Okay.
that gives me homes and woods.
Now, do you do any door knocking and asking for permission or?
Not lately, but I want to get a few more permissions, so I'll probably
I
do
have
that
a
all spring.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question about permission. So, what do you offer people? Like, I don't care about sharing stuff that I find, but what is like the standard that you have to offer people when you ask for a permission?
Well,
Don't offer them nothing necessarily. You don't have
no,
to
I don't offer
offer
much.
your friends anything.
When I first knock, I'm offering my personality at first.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, if they're gonna say yes or no, it's totally based on your personality right away.
Well, actually, what Rachel does, she goes along her postal route, and if they say no, she goes, "No mail for Joe."
Well, I've got a couple that aren't in my town, and you know, I tell them who I am, and you know, I like to metal detect, and you know, I know you see people on the beaches, but I actually like to go in the woods and in old homes, and you know, I'm just curious to see what you've been walking over for the past 20 years you've lived here. Aren't you curious too? And then, you know, I'll have whatever spiel I have. I try to find a common denominator that always helps. That comes from being in sales.
Mhm,
It makes people comfortable if you can figure out a common denominator.
mhm.
And then, you know, if I have to, you know, then I'll offer like, hey, I'll show you. I usually do offer them. I'll show you everything I find. Anything personal, like an engraved ring, I'll give, you know, I'll return to you. You know, and then, hey, if there's something you want, I'll give it to you. You know, you can keep.
Nice.
And most of the time, people have said no. One person kept a ratty old spoon. They left the good stuff. They just felt like they were obligated, so they took the
Oh,
old spoon. But I had one woman that her property is like kind of long and shaped like this, so it goes from one road to the other. And she had mid 1800s house on it, 1700s house on it, one of the first libraries in the area. So she used to like anything we found. It didn't matter what you found. She wanted to keep it. Could be trash, could be good stuff, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wanted it all. And when her daughter lost an heirloom ring, she told me, like for payment for finding it, anything I find, I could keep. So that was great.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I haven't asked if that was still holding. I still go there and I just take home the stuff I find. So
Yeah,
it hasn't said any different yet.
yeah, I could see offering to find a ring if they lost something, asking people, have you ever lost anything personal? I could see doing that, but most of the old coins, the people, they probably wouldn't want it. I have given old coins to people who I detected their yards, and they were cool. They didn't want them all. I gave the one guy a silver quarter and a dime and some other stuff, but he usually gives me lots when he tears buildings down. So,
Nice.
if you share a little bit, you don't have to give them all of it, but just you'll figure it out.
Now, we had a question from Shannon Bortner for cricket. He wants to know about historical items. Do you have to do anything with the authorities there? They allow you to bring your stuff home, or what? Is there any procedures? Like in England, you've got to, give them the opportunity to buy it first and stuff. So anything like that in Okinawa?
Well, so the Japanese don't particularly care for metal detecting. They feel like you're stealing somebody else's item, even though nobody's looking for it. I mean, if they were looking for it, they would ask me to come find it for them. They do have a rule that if it is anything of value, and this is really weird, if it's a surface find and it's of value, you have to take it to the nearest Koban, which is a police station. And like I found on my little beach down here one evening, I found it wasn't a GoPro camera, but it was like a GoPro camera. And I took it to the local Koban, and they don't speak English, or the guys that were there at the minute, that time didn't speak English, and they acted like, why are you bringing this to us? And so it was just such a hassle that I don't do it anymore. I don't do it. But they do, if you take it, and I found something else and took one of my Japanese friends, and you fill out all this paperwork. And even then, when I had a Japanese friend with me, they seemed put out that they were filling out all this paperwork. And if nobody claims it within a certain time frame, then they'll contact you and give it back to you. And it just is too much of a hassle. And then there's also a rule, I guess, if you find something deep in the ground, not a surface find, none of the rules apply. So I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. There's no place where you can just look it up. And so we just hunt, and anybody that hunts, Japanese or Americans or anybody else, we just hunt. And if somebody comes up to me and wants to see what I find, I show them everything I find. And they don't believe me that it's 100 yen coin, which is $1. They don't believe me because it's so corroded. It's until I throw it in my tumbler and make it shiny and pretty. Or even, a sterling silver ring, they think it's just junk because it's so black and nasty, and then I bring it home and throw it in my tumbler and it becomes really pretty again. And so it's never been an issue, but if there's rules, nobody follows them because nobody knows what they are. So that could change over time, like they could become more cohesive about the way they make their rules, but right now there just really aren't any. And the other thing too, there are a lot of castle ruins around. You're not allowed to get anywhere near those to hunt. So I guess it's just not an issue because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
Jeff, it looks like you're running the banner. So what are we playing for tonight?
Well, we have donated from Fisher, First Texas, their brand new backpack, and it is a dandy. So we put posts up on YouTube and on the Facebook page, and everybody had to use the phrase, I got to have that backpack. We had a great number of entries, and I have the winners. And how it works with us is if you are new to Treasure Talk, firstly, if you're on YouTube, you have to be a member of Treasure Talk YouTube. And I check and everything. And if your name is called, what you must do is you'll have 3 minutes to text to either or Facebook Messenger to Phil or myself, and you see our numbers scrolling along the bottom of the screen. You have to text with your name and you are here within 3 minutes of hearing your name called. Then what you have to do, and this is the only way you're going to get your prize, is you have to email all your info, your name, address, phone number to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. That way we get it to whomever is giving the prize, and there should be no mistakes on your addresses and such. So everybody get your fingers ready because we are fixing to draw.
Good luck.
So it is 46 and 30 seconds. So Debbie Tumbleson, you got 3 minutes to get up with Phil or myself, and you want a backpack.
And I know Debbie Tumbleson.
I know Debbie too.
She's a member of the West State Archaeological Society, which is Tampa's metal detecting club. And I saw her husband was on the live stream, so
yeah. Well, it don't count for Rick. Rick can't do it. Debbie's got to do it.
Debbie's got to do it. So Rick
cannot use it.
Yes.
Debbie, Rick cannot use it.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And, I'm looking at the Facebook live feed, and for some reason, Jeff, Facebook and me don't get along. Because I can't find the show on it, but it's on my phone because Jocelyn's watching it. So
well, you don't adhere to their community standards, Phil. What can I tell you?
No, it's okay. I don't need to see that. But yeah, I guess that's what it is. But me and Facebook, we just don't get along very well. So,
well, Facebook is Facebook. What are you going to do?
There she is.
Hey.
Debbie Tumbleson has just texted me.
And she did.
Nice.
She did. I got it right. Yeah.
So you got it too. Okay, great.
Okay, Debbie, congratulations. You won the backpack. Now do the email, girl, and we'll be good to go.
Rick said she's dying.
What was that, Josh?
Rick said she was dialing. Hang on. That was on the live Facebook feed.
We got it. We got it.
All righty. So let me keep going my questions then. And this one is from, the Mumbles Man.
Uh-oh.
And he's asking for Rachel and for Cricket, the most unusual find. And we'll start with you, Rachel.
Most unusual?
Yes. The weirdest thing you dug up.
Nothing really too weird. I mean, a long time ago, I came across something that I can't mention.
Okay.
It was a surface find, and pretty sure that I'm not sure they were missing it.
Okay. All right.
This is my most unusual find. I don't know if you can see the face on it.
Very cool.
That's cool. And what is
Yeah,
that?
it's about a 30-inch sword, and I found it right in my own backyard.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and I thought it was, see how it's got a hole in the end and it's flat. I thought it was like a hose bib that had been flattened, and I almost didn't pull it out. And I thought, well, I should just get it out of the yard anyway, and because I have a really tiny yard. And so I did. I pulled it out and it just kept coming, and I was so excited. So yeah, this is definitely my most unusual find. So
I found a sterling silver match safe, which is not something you come across a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
So that's probably my most unusual, because everything else I expect to find, but not a silver match safe. I found the top not too far from it too, so I have the whole thing.
So what time period do you think it was from?
I think it was like late 1800s.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. So, how old do you think the sword is?
Well, actually, it came with kind of a funny story. I posted on a sword site because it looks, like if you see this guy that's on here, it looks like Incan or Mayan to me. It doesn't look Japanese or the China owned the Ryukyu Islands. That's part of Okinawa. China owned it at one time. It's been owned by many, many people over the years. But it actually is a Chinese sword. I can't remember exactly what dynasty it's from. It's super, super old, but this is a reproduction. And I had put it out on a sword uh, Facebook page, and the guy who rented this house that we live in right before us had buried it in the backyard because he wanted to see what the patina would look like. This is what he told me, because I had put it on the Facebook page and he was on this Facebook page and he was like, "Oh my God, that's my sword. I buried that in the backyard." And I'm like, "Well, you can't have it back." I just loved it so much. I'm like, "You can't have this back." So sorry, dude. But yeah, just because his story seems a little fishy to me, but whatever. But it's a reproduction. You can look it up on, I think I looked it up on eBay and it was like $300 as a reproduction sword.
All right, we've got a couple questions here off of Facebook that Jocelyn just gave me, and we'll start with you, Rachel. And this is for both of you. What was your scariest experience while out detecting or treasure hunting?
Out in the woods, having a tree fall, not maybe 30 yards from us.
Oh my gosh.
Was
All
it
you heard was boom, like you didn't hear anything else, and it was not that far.
So they do make noise if you're alone in the woods, right? When
Yeah, they do. It was like a really long creak. It wasn't really loud, but it was really long, and then there's just boom, and you can feel the ground vibrate.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would scare me too if one fell right next to me or close to me for sure. And you, Cricket?
Well, I think maybe I can think of two things. One, a sea snake came up to me one day when I was out in the water. That was a little bit scary just because it kind of caught me off guard. Normally, I'm actually diving when the sea snakes come up to me, and I'm not nervous because I've got a wetsuit and everything's covered. But this time it came up to me and it was like going around my legs and it scared me and I got out of the water. And then the other night, actually, I went night hunting with two of my friends that go night hunting solely, like they just go night hunting. And it was maybe 3:45 in the morning and we're on this beach and we only use a headlamp if at the red light of a headlamp if we're getting something out of our scoop. We keep the lights out. And I didn't see them and I didn't see their lights. And I thought, and we were almost 2 hours up the coast, so far away from home. And I didn't have my phone with me or anything. I left it all in the car and I didn't see them. And I thought, oh my gosh, do you think they left me? Like they're so used to hunting together. And no, they just were, I just couldn't see them because it was dark and they were around the corner. And then shortly after my little panic attack, they came up and said, "Okay, time to go." One of them smoked cigarettes and I could see like the embers of his cigarette. And so then I felt much better, but that's like the scariest thing because I thought I was left behind.
Left behind. Yeah, that would.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a book. Yeah. Okay. Well, this one you've already answered this, Cricket. So
Okay.
we'll move this one over to Rachel. It's from Tom Shively on Facebook, and he says, "For each of you, what's your worst critter experience
Yeah.
while hunting? Have you had any critter experiences?"
Chiggers.
Chiggers.
Stickers.
Chiggers. I remember those from Maryland. I would go blackberry picking and I'd come home and just be loaded with chiggers under my skin. That was a bad experience.
I had them completely covered my left ankle and probably about a couple hundred on my right ankle. But well, we were in my county in the northern part of it, and I had no idea that the South Jersey, they call them scrub pines. There's a word for it down there. I didn't realize that it had come up this far north, and it was actually in the area I was detecting. It was like the pinnacle of this point, and I had no idea. I used to play in those woods. I never got chiggers when I was a kid, and I just found a nice little nest of them and walked right through them.
Mm.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's.
She ought to come down here with the fire ants.
I've been around fire ants. I used to live down there.
Yeah,
Fire ants are brutal.
I've been to the doctor for fire ants biting my foot, and yeah, they're pretty bad. But we have no-see-ums too. Do you have them, Cricket?
No, I don't. I don't know what that is.
Flying.
Tiny mosquitoes you don't see or hear.
No.
It's not even. You don't even see them. That's why we call them no-see-em.
No.
Flying teeth.
I was hunting a real low tide in Tampa Bay here, where negative tide, but the water's way out. So
Yeah.
it's all wet sand. It's just a perfect day. It's cool weather, and the no-see-ums got on my ankle, and they were so bad, I was crying. You know,
Oh,
that
no.
takes a lot to make a grown man cry. So I had to walk back to my truck. Maybe I was crying because I had to quit hunting, go back to the truck, and all I had was suntan lotion, a little alcohol swab in my first aid kit. So I hit it with this alcohol swab and put the suntan lotion on and went back to hunting. But I
Oh,
was
man.
crying there for a little bit because they are bad. I mean, it was extremely painful.
No-see-ums are bad, and you can't see them, and they attack in swarms, and it's and they bite you, and you swell up. I tell you what.
Yeah.
That's why we call them flying teeth.
Yeah, we
Yikes.
don't have them up here in Jersey, thankfully.
No,
We
you
don't
got
have
other
those.
things in
Fire ants
Jersey.
either.
Well, I've got another question, and this one is for Rachel. And Rick Miller's asking, what part of Jersey? I was born and raised in a little Point Pleasant Beach. My best find there was a duffel bag full of marijuana underneath the boardwalk.
I don't doubt it. I see the
That's still
boardwalks.
high.
We used to walk under the boardwalks when I was a kid looking for coins, change people would drop on the boardwalk. I grew up Point Pleasant's in I think it's in my county. I grew up in my county and the county below, Ocean County, Monmouth County, all up and down the shore area. Probably in most of the towns, but basically mostly central Jersey. On the East Coast, you know.
Yeah, Jocelyn was born in Bayonne.
That's about like 35 minutes north of me.
Yeah, that's close. All right, so let me keep going down my list here. This is from Janine Ballard Patterson, and this one's a Jrzyrae also. You have used the Garrett AT Pro. Do you have custom settings for a certain type of metal, or what program do you run in?
I don't do any notching, so I don't really do a custom mode. I run in Pro Zero, excuse me, and I have my iron discrimination, usually about 38.
Yeah, that's a little max.
I run with my iron audio on. I want to hear the iron.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I used to AT Pro. I always hunt Pro Zero. I think you could listen for the quieter, deeper targets if you're looking for older coins. I think that's the best hunting program on that particular detector. All right, well, let me keep going because I think our time is waning. Catherine Hand Powell says, and we'll get you this one, Cricket, first.
Okay.
What is your favorite detector? Is it light to swing? And there's some of the other questions she asked. We've already covered the most unusual. And do you detect by yourself? So I guess just your favorite detector, and is it light to swing?
Right. So right now, my favorite detector is the CZ21, and that's because I've been diving with it. I take it out in the water, and so it's kind of a neutral buoyant thing. It's not light or not. If you wanted to do land hunting and you're looking for something light, oh my goodness, Zippy. Fisher F19. I've called it Zippy because it is just so freaking light. It's incredible. Yeah, so it just kind of depends on what kind of detecting you're doing. But right now, my favorite machine is the CZ21 by Fisher. It is amazing in the water.
Yeah, and that's rated, I think, for 200 feet for diving. So
yes, 200 feet. It does a great job on the land. I've done land hunting, beach hunting, but basically what I'm using it for is diving, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who uses one of those with the 8-inch coil on it for relic and coin hunting.
Yeah, nice.
And I wouldn't do that, but that's the detector that he knows and loves, and that's the one he uses for everything.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, how about you, Rachel? Favorite detector?
No, they're all my favorites. I primarily use my AT Pro, and yes, it is heavy to swing after swinging it all day. I alternate arms.
Oh, you can do that? You can alternate arms? I can't do that.
Yeah, but I seem to listen better with my right hand, so if I get a good signal, I'll switch it over to my right hand to hear it better. I try not to do that because it sounds exactly the same with my left hand, but and I do like the Knox 800 a lot. The Simplex I have is a good machine, but I just don't really use it. But I would guess right now, at the moment, my favorite is my AT Pro.
Yeah. Well, it's the one, it's kind of hard to get other detectors if you have one that you really just know. It's your go-to detector. You pretty much got to force yourself to use the newer. I use a lot of different detectors. Right now, I'm learning the Deus 1. Soon I'll be learning the Deus 2. So,
what's your top seller?
The top seller right now is still the Equinox. I mean, I still sell some AT Pros, AT Maxes. Occasional Fisher CZ21. That is an awesome water detector. So, there's room for everybody. Right. You need to have 5 or 6 detectors. Yeah, you do. That's what I say. Right, Jeff?
10. That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Well, I plan on adding to my collection.
Pardon me, Jeff?
It is the witching hour.
Oh, yes, it is. So let me get started and say thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Cricket, for coming on and sharing your wisdom with our members here, and hopefully people learn some stuff and learn some stuff about Okinawa too.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, you're awesome guests, and we appreciate you coming on here. Thank you, Jocelyn, and of course, thank you, Jeff, and thank you to all the members who were on the live stream tonight. Thanks. I think we've got close to 5,000 members on the Facebook page, and then probably that many on YouTube.
Nice.
So
we're getting there. We are getting there. So, guys, Cricket, Rachel, thanks very much for joining us tonight. When I was thinking about guests for tonight's show, I was thinking about the best women detectorists in the world, and there's 2 of them with us tonight. So that was very much a success for us. So
thank you
very, very much for your time and your pleasantness and your expertise. And we want to just say thank you again. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And remember to join us on Thursday night for Treasure Tales, where we will have the Ill Digger and the Lost Boys are going to be our guests on Treasure Tales for Thursday night. And then next Monday night, it's going to be the Stealth Diggers, and they will all be in their clubhouse. So all the Stealth Diggers will be with us next Monday night. And we're giving away a Fisher F19 metal detector. So if you haven't entered, go find the entry video on YouTube. Join Treasure Talk YouTube if you haven't. And if you're on Facebook and haven't entered, go find the post and enter. And there's also a question sheet posted for questions for the Stealth Diggers. So it helps if we get some questions from you, because a lot of times in the chat, we just can't keep up. So with that being said, Rachel, Cricket, we love you. Thanks much for joining us tonight, everybody. Thank you so much, Phil. Thanks, man. Josh, I love you. And let's all have a good week, shall we?
Absolutely. Get out there and go hunting. Learn that new tail stuff.
That's right. Happy hunting and dig deeper, everybody.
Happy hunting and dig deeper, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye now.